There is brilliant news right now, which is Elon Musk speaking up on behalf of Tommy Robinson, calling him a political prisoner, which is what he is, and demanding his release. And I just wanted to say one thing, if I may, whilst this is happening and whilst there's a lot of noise around Tommy, and whilst there'll be loads of people sharing pictures of themselves with Tommy all of a sudden, that's great, actually, because the more eyes that are on Tommy, the safer he is. But there was just a couple things, but one in particular. The brilliant MP, Rupert Lowe, said, "How could this happen in my country relating to grooming gangs?" And I just wanted to caution against that kind of wording. My country, how could my country let this happen? Because my country, our country, didn't let this happen. Individual silence did. And it's a common technique used by people to avoid blame, avoid accountability. So let's take another example, a truck round a Christmas market. A truck. And the idea is, oh, the truck did it. Well, no, the truck didn't do it. Just as a gun in America used in a school shooting, the gun didn't do it. The noun, the innocuous thing, didn't do the thing, you know? So my country didn't cover up grooming gangs, individuals did, and the powerful made sure that no one would be able to speak out. In the UK particularly, the best way that that was achieved was by calling out people who did speak, Tommy or myself, whomever, and then utterly punishing them. People look at Iran or Iraq and people being hung from cranes. That's the same thing that was happening to any of us that did open our mouths, that do open our mouths. And Tommy now serves time inside again for that. And Keir Starmer just released the jihadi who was imprisoned for coming to behead me. She just got let out without serving her sentence. The same woman who went and got a hunting knife, practiced stabbing a kind of shop dummy ready for the attack, and then tasked her husband and her to come down to take my head. She's been released early, whilst other people are locked up for a Facebook post. That's not the point. The point is, this is a great moment for lots and lots of different people to help in lots of different ways. So one of them is that the more eyeballs that are on Tommy, the safer he is. Elon has just done a great thing in saving Tommy because all eyeballs are on him, and this is incredibly awkward for Keir Starmer. Keep your eyes on him. Now is not the time to look back and have a go at people who didn't speak out, have a go at people who held their silence, have a go at people who criticised Tommy. It's not about that. It doesn't matter. That stuff's in the past. And honestly, if you're an ordinary person, you can't afford to lose your job, your house, your marriage, to have your kids maybe taken from you. You know, that's not something I would advocate for anyone. But what you do have an ability to do now is to realise things are changing. The winds of change are amongst us. Don't have to caveat what you say. You don't have to say, I'm no fan of Tommy Butt. You can just say the thing you wanted to say. I'm no fan of Katie Butt. You don't have to sort of slightly have a life preserve on whilst you say a thing. It is your right to speak your mind. And if you're being attacked by people, well, maybe it's time that you weren't around the people that are attacking you. And the other thing we can do now with this moment of opportunity is really hold the line together. The past is gone, it doesn't matter. What people did in the past doesn't matter. Now, if you think something, even if you just think it in your heart, you don't have to say it. Just know it and know that you're not alone. And know that suddenly we're picking up very serious and influential people who can help us have our voices heard. Just have confidence from that. Maybe you can turn up to the next thing or the next rally or whatever, because suddenly, you know, it's like a little can opener opening a tin. Suddenly, other people are seeing, and the more that there's backing from Elon, or the more that other people feel that they can speak out, the more that you're able to hold your opinion without being scared of it, or even show your face. And that's really a great thing. And I always take as an example the NHS 100,000, who you will never hear me do anything but sing the praises of. The NHS 100,000 who were within moments of being fired from jobs they loved in the NHS because they wouldn't take the jibby jab. And they held the line together. And because they held the line, the government had to do a U-turn and say, no, we can't afford to lose you. Sometimes you don't have to speak out, speak up. You don't have to post something on Twitter. You don't have to say something on Facebook. You don't have to throw yourself at the mercy of the corrupt law. You can just hold the line, know what you believe in your heart, and then when you're ready, show up. Because by showing up every day, by being certain about what you think, by being less afraid every day, you join a big old army of us who've been out here fighting for a very long time and are now thrilled that so many others will be given the opportunity to even, breathe air and think, oh, it's coming. Because 2025 is going to be our year. I've felt the change coming now for about 4 years, which means by now it's really starting to show itself. 2025 is going to be glorious. And of course, I would be doing a disservice if I didn't just mention at the back of this, January the 20th, of course, the inauguration of the greatest president that ever there was, the 45th and the 47th. But all eyes on the UK, because on that date is when the morally bankrupt and corrupt and the most dark and evil forces will try to air their laundry. Keep an eye on the courts on that day. Keep an eye on stories that day. I'm going to be at the inauguration, but here in the UK and other places where evil shows itself, it will show itself on that day. January the 20th, all eyes on the courts in the UK, because it has the potential to be the day when Keir Starmer is also officially unseated from his position of power. Lots of big things in that, lots going on. The tide is turning. It's terrifically exciting. But keep going, keep knowing what you believe. Start to breathe, start to feel change. Because I can tell you for certain it's happening.
It's a really simple hairstyle.
I don't want to do that again. Let's press slack on that. Why not? That's the Friends of Katie Hopkins. I just wanted to put that there. Yeah, so that's a really fascinating little video. Sorry I didn't do an intro. I don't know where to put you. I'll just put you here. This will do. She's still there. Yeah, so I don't know about this stuff. There was a lot of interesting excitement about Donald Trump being president in the United States of America. The administrator head, military head of all of the occupied territories that are occupied under the USA type UN type thing. Well, I don't really know the whole thing. There are people around who do, but I don't know. What do you think? What do you think about what Katie Hopkins has said? I saw another video of this earlier, a similar thing. Yeah, I just want to remind ourselves, our people, Westernkind, not to compromise, that giving away everything to nons is not in our interests, and that being quote tolerant, close quote, is not to our benefit. It's not to in our interests. And these things is what happens when we get too accepting, too tolerant, too we come to a suffering. We allow. So let's stop allowing, I think, and let's stand, and let's get together and let's create. so that we can help each other and our people.